How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Detailed TV. Today we're going to take a look at the Edgeless 245 from the Rag Company, and I'm going to tell you why, in my opinion, this is the best all-purpose towel that you can get if you're willing to buy in bulk. So let's check it out. Okay, so when you talk about microfiber towels, there's literally thousands of different options on the market. Whether it's different color, different size, different blend, different country of origin, different piles, the list goes on. There's so many different options. So what I'm going to try to do is just kind of dumb it down a little bit, keep it simple today, and we're just going to cover my personal favorite all-purpose towel, like I said, if you're willing to buy in bulk. So for the Edgeless 245, let's talk about the price point here first. So if you buy this towel at normal retail pricing, it's going to cost you $1.50 a towel. Now at $1.50, in my opinion, there are better options on the market. There are towels that are a little bit more versatile. But if you're willing to buy this in bulk through the Rag Company, which is a case of 300 minimum, you get it at 47 cents a pop. And the really cool thing is, if you're somebody that really blows through a lot of towels, I'm talking thousands of towels a year, they actually offer even steeper discounted pricing if you buy 5+ cases. So 1,500 towels minimum if you want that steeper discounted price. And if you do that, you're going to get them for 44 cents a towel. Now, I know it's only a 3-cent difference, but if you're going through thousands of towels a year, that definitely adds up at the end. So just something to keep in mind. The Sam's Club does have a towel that is actually 47 cents as well, but I prefer this towel a lot more for a few reasons. Number one, this is edgeless. It's also tagless, and I prefer the fibers on this one, the pile, to be more specific. This has a really nice low pile, which just has enough bite to it to pick up grime and dirt and body oils and things like that. On the contrary, the Sam's Club towel has one side that's low pile and the opposite side is high pile. And for me, it's just too linty. It doesn't have quite enough bite to it. And also, I just don't like the fact that it's not edgeless. So, it's made pretty cheaply. So the edges are always kind of coming apart. And after a few wash cycles, they're pretty much ready for the trash. They're kind of falling apart at that point. So because this towel does require you to buy in bulk, to get that type of pricing, this is definitely going to be more geared towards the professional user, but don't worry for the weekend warrior guys. I do have another towel that I really love that's in that $1.50 to $2 range, where you get a little bit more versatility out of it. Like for this towel specifically, I wouldn't use this on paint just because it's such a low pile thin towel. But for that $1.50 to $2 range, there are towels out there that are still thin enough to be usable on pretty much every surface and not be cumbersome, but is just thick enough to be able to use to remove polish, remove wax, and things like that. So I will be making a video on that in the near future, but be on the lookout for that one if you guys are just a weekend warrior and you're watching this and you really don't need 300 towels. Be on the lookout for that next video. So just a few quick notes about the 245. So the 245 is conveniently so a 245 GSM towel, and GSM stands for grams per square meter, which is basically just the weight of the towel. Typically, a higher GSM towel is going to be thicker. It's going to have more weight to it, typically a little bit higher quality, and so on and so forth. But so as I said, this is 245. This is a 16-inch by 16-inch, which is the most common size, especially for a all-purpose towel such as this. And this is an 80% polyester, 20% polyamide blend, which is fairly common. And also the country of origin for this is China. And this also has an ultrasonic cut edge, which is really nice. There's not, I haven't found many where the edge was jaggedy or anything like that, so typically you get a nice clean cut on these towels, which is a big bonus. So you may be thinking that 245 GSM is pretty darn low for an all-purpose towel, or really any microfiber towel for that matter, and you wouldn't be necessarily wrong. 245 is pretty low, when you're looking at comparable towels in this category. Typically I would say, an all-purpose towel is between 300 to 400 GSM, but if I'm being honest, the 245 GSM is actually one reason that I really love this towel. This is thin enough to get into those tighter areas in the interior, whether it's the cup holders or the little the little change trays or the ashtrays, this is thin enough to really get in there and actually be able to do some work. Underneath window switches, in behind the steering wheel, things like that. So typically if you get those thicker towels that are around 400 GSM, they're just a little too thick, they're a little cumbersome. This being 245 is really, in my opinion, perfect for hitting those tighter spaces. Now, being only 245, I would not recommend that you use this towel for paint or any of the really delicate plastics that could easily scratch. And that's why I said, if you're going to pay the $1.50, there are towels out there that are a little bit more versatile for that price range, where you can use them to remove polish residue, you can use them to remove wax and things like that. So just to drive home that point, I really recommend, if you're going to get this towel, do it in bulk. If not, wait for the video that we're going to put out on a better towel in that $1.50 range. So let's talk about the performance of the 245s. Now, I use the 245s on essentially every vehicle that I detail. It's used almost solely as my interior towel. I'll use it on leather, use it on the dashboard, use it on the plastic or glass nav screens. I'll use it for everything. And in addition to that, I'll use it for the jambs, I'll use it for the wheels, use it for the engine bay. I mean, this is, when we say this is all purpose, this is really all purpose. It gets used on essentially every surface, of course, except for the paint and glass. So, this is definitely capable of handling 95% of your needs. As I said, these have the low pile, so when you really need to put a little bit more elbow grease into, bringing up the dirt that's either embedded in, like, say, leather or your armrests, where they get really grimy, this has enough bite to do that. I also mentioned that these are tagless, which is awesome because, when you're looking at towels specifically in this price range, there's, typically they're going to come with tags on them. And for me, I've never had luck with removing a tag. I always end up pulling some string with it. And basically, that leads to, after a few wash cycles, they just start to fall apart. They start to, the string unravels and everything like that. So that always ends up being an issue. But these, obviously, edgeless, tagless, and they feel really nice and tightly woven. Some of the cheaper towels, if you pull on them a little bit, you can hear the fibers pulling apart and stretching and snapping. These are actually really nice and tightly woven. So I haven't had any issues at all going through hundreds and hundreds of these. I haven't had any issues with durability. I haven't had any start to fall apart, start to tear, or anything like that. So that's a huge testament for a towel that's 47 cents actually being able to last. That's huge. So I did notice early on when I originally started to test these towels that I would sporadically find some that were really off square. Some of them were really, really bad. Now, I haven't really seen them much lately, so it's possible that, the first batch that I got was just a bad batch. But I know that, some people may really be annoyed by this. For me, again, at 47 cents a towel, my intended use for these, typically I'm throwing them away after 3 or 4 wash cycles. It really wasn't a huge deal. I just used them, use them as I normally would any other towel. But I know some people are really, really annoyed by things like that. So, just something to keep in mind. Obviously, this is, you're paying 47 cents a towel. It's very possible that you're going to get some that are a little off square or, things like that. So just keep that in mind when you're considering this towel. And like I said, the one thing that I'm really impressed with is for this type of towel at this price point, these things really, really hold up. The rag company actually claims that with proper care, proper washing, these will withstand up to 100 plus wash cycles. And I actually have a few that I will only use for like light duty cleaning, so that way they don't get worn down or too dirty. And a few of them have been through at least 40 or 50 wash cycles and show no signs of wear or tear, no signs of falling apart. So definitely a big thumbs up for having a towel, bringing a towel to market that is at that price point and actually holds up. It's just overall just a really, really great towel. So what's the verdict on the 245? Obviously, I've kind of been gushing about this towel the whole video, so it's not going to come as a surprise to know that this towel definitely earns a spot on the shelf. With, of course, the caveat being that only if you're going to do the bulk purchase. At $1.50, there's better options on the market. But with that said, these are soft enough to be used on 95% of the surfaces. They're strong enough to hold up. They're able to, be used in the jams. They're able to actually do some real cleaning on wheels, engine bays, things like that. So you really can't go wrong Especially if you're a professional, you can't go wrong with having these towels in your shop. They're just too cheap and they last forever. So definitely would recommend this towel to anybody that goes through a lot and is looking for a nice cheap towel. But if you're somebody that really wants, the best of the best, you only like using the high quality premium towels, this isn't going to be for you. There's definitely other options in the market where, they're higher quality, but again, you're going to be paying for that higher quality towel. So if you've used the 245, make sure to comment and let me know your thoughts on it. And if you have any questions about it, reach out and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you're interested in staying up to date when we release a new video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go to our website at detailedtv.net and subscribe to our email blast. Thanks for watching the review, guys. I look forward to seeing you next time.